Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place. I welcome you to today's Sunday later stream, but well, we are going to be having some fun game on our hands, and that is going to be actually played between Swissboy and Blood 127. It's going to be first round of El Destroyer's Vanilla Championship, so that is of course going to be one hell of a matchup, and therefore, as we are right now starting with the Egyptian from Blood 27, and for the opponent, for Swissboy, it's going to be right now, well, with an Egyptian as well. They're gonna be starting with sets, but otherwise, that basically means that in the game number 2 and game number 3, they are going to be able to, well, they are going to be supposed to play Norse gods, because that is a specialty of this tournament that El Destroyer has set up, and that means, well, that the standard settings are that one of the first home maps, basically each player is having 2 home maps in a best of 5 that we are playing in here, and one of those home maps has to be a snow map. So therefore we are right now starting on the Ghost Lake, and then there are of course some other maps like Sea of Worms, Vinland Saga, and Midgard and Jotunheim. Those are the snow maps in vanilla, and well, therefore we're going to be seeing, doesn't have to be 2 of them, because obviously the players can be overlapping as far as choosing their own home maps. Whereas, well, the other setting that is basically needed is that players have to be in the first 3 games, they have to be playing twice a Norse god. So it's basically wintry themed, so you want to be playing the Norse gods, snowy maps and such. So, for example, players like exactly Swissboy is going to be having potentially a bit of an advantage in there, because obviously he is a majorly Norse main, even though he plays, for example, a lot of Oranos on Titans. Obviously on Vanilla you're not exactly having that, but well, nonetheless, for the first game here and for the first one in their tournament, they are going to be choosing the sets, which is a bit of an interesting choice, but considering we are on Vanilla, it definitely is making pretty good sense overall. And well, that's of course also gonna be meaning no extra town centers in the classical age, so therefore with the Egyptians is definitely expected, it's only going to be, for example, like faster heroic, that's pretty much nothing else expected, but considering it's a mirror, maybe some kind of fun could be in there. And hey, Kilty, welcome to the stream. As that everybody knows, we are streaming on 2-minute delay to make it fair for all the players and making it reasonable for all of them, so that they cannot complain and don't have all that much of a reason to complain in the first place. But otherwise, let's have a look, for example, on the map. As we had about 2.5 minutes, but still, there is probably not going to be all that much going on, as I said, until a bit later in the game, as it kind of usually is in the vanilla here between Aegis. There's gonna be a relic on the left for actually Feathers of Fenrir. That's rather useful with killing animals in single shot, though there are not all that many aggressive animals here, like just a few bears, some bear, which apparently maybe didn't even spawn all that badly, and all that many of them here, all across the map. As apparently to the bottom, into the corner, we are going to be seeing right now quite a nice little bonus hunt available for Blood, but he's already having the front one. You can see that right now they are both Swissboy is rather on the back one, whereas here in the front there is one being converted by Blood, whereas Swissboy, he's kinda not converting all that badly. He has gotten one of the bears, so that's where they actually went for him. As on the left, was he trying to convert one of the animals here as well? Not entirely certain, but nonetheless he didn't get all that many things. You can see for the opponent, who is right now, is he going for the aggro hunt? He actually really is. Okay, that's gonna be fun. He's actually legitimately right now going for the front of his enemy's base. It's gonna be down to Caribou. Gonna be fairly interesting how he actually decides to fight with it, because obviously against the animals he cannot do anything all that much. These kind of like little shenanigans will be slowing Blood down. You can see it already, difference in the score is about 20 points, considering that we are in a mirror that might be becoming a bit influential. But well, here on the left side, with unit food, wood and gold costs getting decreased with the Veget Eye. That might be rather helpful, but not probably all that early, because I'm really assuming this is going to be really just heading into faster heroic from both the players, but maybe they're gonna be surprising us, who knows. Especially Blood, who is a specialized vanilla player, whereas obviously Swissboy is a Titans player, so it's gonna be fairly interesting to see how he deals with all the differences, as basically one of the major differences from the Titans here is mostly that units are, especially mythical units, are a whole lot more expensive, not especially, pretty much only mythical units are a whole lot more expensive, and we are also playing on the Ensemble Studios patch. There is no like fun patch or anything, or Wobbly Balance patch for vanilla, so therefore it's gonna be the last version of the of the balance. But quite frankly, Vanilla is quite solidly balanced. Like basically right off the bat. So it's not gonna be any kind of problem with this, as apparently gonna be heading into a bit of a fun shenanigan with some BD fighting, which obviously should be coming into Swissboy's hands, as there shouldn't be all that much of a chance for his opponent to do anything. And that also means that shifting sands are right proper nasty, so you can be probably stealing all of it into his base, basically shifting even the enemy villages. That should be all available. That's gonna be, of course, the advantage of the Vanilla player, who's gonna be potentially knowing exactly all these little things. Whereas Swissboy is obviously not going to be knowing that. So definitely curious how it's going to be going. As well, in the meantime, as we are right now going to be expecting a bit of a extra hunt for him. He still does have one true back, but if I had to guess, I would be thinking actually Blood is not all that aware, because I don't think he has been scouting too well. I haven't exactly noticed it too much, so I don't think he was. Therefore, there's a pretty solid chance there might be a bit of advantage allowed. I definitely for the blue player, so we're gonna have to see about it, if that's gonna be actually somehow working out or not. As otherwise, well, we are going to be waiting at this point for pretty much some kind of first engagement. You can see plenty of animals, 4 priests there, pretty much the same with 1 extra damage into the bear, but it could be all kinds of difference here in the battle, in case, of course, it's gonna be a bit of a more interesting kerfuffle. But at this point you can already see Swissboy getting a bit of an upper hand. And with the villages, it's gonna be obviously again changing, but he needs to be really realizing that shifting sands are way more powerful here in Vanilla than they are in Titans. So let's see if he does or not, because you can see that gonna be shifting sands by him. He's gonna be taking the villages right now, learning with a bit of a counter shift, of course, stealing more villages as well. But this boy needs to be careful about keeping the villages alive also if he can. The last one seems to be definitely deadish, and she is. Therefore, the amount of villages is gonna be fairly similar at this point. There really shouldn't be all that much of a difference. And well, since we are on Vanilla, we are kind of glad to be having at least the observer point of the view. But otherwise, we won't be exactly seeing what kind of extra technologies the players are getting. And we're also not going to be getting exactly the resources. So yeah, well, we need to be playing kind of with what we have and what we are seeing right off the bat here on the map. I'm going to be kind of trying it, but I think we don't have the commands here. If I remember correctly from previous streams. So I'm gonna be right now trying it out, but I don't think we have that. Nope, we don't, exactly as it is. So therefore it's gonna be all about like better guessing what the opponent could be working. And therefore, it's going to be right now allowing us to maybe study the game a bit more. And of course, for example, differences in the build orders, as we are right about now having 4 here all together. It's kind of slightly strange that these actually messages are going to him, because shouldn't be, considering that it's not selected. But yeah, well, there are some kind of defaults, but it should be also clicked in there. But nonetheless, as a small detail, and he's gonna be having right about now, how many? About like 6 on gold. Right now 4 red. For the opponent, looking at only 4, actually 4. Scratch that, he's having way more, he's having like 11 at this point altogether. As on the left, we are gonna be looking at a decent amount of priests already healing each other. That's gonna be about like, how many? 7 of them. But as for the opponent, he doesn't exactly have all that many things. As you could have seen, Swissboy is playing it a bit more. Right now defensively, he's having at least 7 of them as well. It's pretty much like the same build order, at least for the time being, as he is aiming for hopefully not for the second TC, unless he's just advancing, and he is, yeah. I was kinda just looking if maybe he wasn't going for a classical HTC, but no, he isn't. It is right now going to be that, and we are gonna be having to potentially check, for example, into the post game and into the graphs to see when they're gonna be advancing. I'm just right now remembering how I used to be doing it. You can see it's advancing about half a minute later, and I used to be doing in the previous vanilla tournaments, how it is actually coming forward, and how is it doing? But nonetheless, there we go. This is going to be right now resulting into quite a early, of course, second TC, whereas the opponent is still gathering with some remaining berries, blocking a bit of the gold, but nothing really all that bad. And he's obviously going to be aiming for his own TC himself. Just kind of the position of the gold is definitely better for Blood, because look at that, 1, 2, 3 gold mines on his side, and only kind of like none for the Swissboys, having literally this one the closest. And that's definitely not in any kind of like great and easy position for him at all. Definitely quite sucks altogether for him to be having that. But yeah, well, he's gonna be apparently able to claim it because of being really so much faster into the next age. As you can see, Blood is taking it a bit more carefully. There's a bit slower scouting for him. Whereas Phil, of course, here is gonna be right now getting out the mining camp and kind of trying to block this path of the map, or the part of the map. Luckily for Swissboy, the TC on the left side is not entirely too much, protecting the gold mines here. Still widely open, especially this one. It's kind of wide open from the top for a bit of an extra raiding. So of course right now with the siege works already coming forward, Swiss is going to be having quite a bit of an edge, and it's fairly interesting that he is gonna be on the second TC, whereas the opponent is choosing only one TC. But here again, it's vanilla, and therefore it's a bit more usual to be actually having exactly that. So there we go, this is gonna be right now resulting into a few more chariots already running around. You can see they are not entirely too quick here, but nonetheless they're gonna be wobbling into the correct places as soon as possible. We're gonna be checking out, for example, the top of the map in case there is a secondary TC already available for him. As to the bottom side, this is gonna be right now resulting into a bit of a problem as the siege works are a bit more aggressive, but he was kind of trying to do it because of the large gold mine in there, and that is, of course, quite a good reason for him to be trying to basically block this path of the, or the part of the map as well, to make the pathing a bit more difficult. Okay. So at this stage, this is gonna be right now resulting into a bit of a apparently camel fight, but basically the half a minute earlier advance is still quite significantly paying off for Swissboy. And considering he's gonna be getting better and better economy because of the secondary TC, basically the longer this goes, obviously the bigger of an advantage is Swissboy going to be getting. And so far, looking at the numbers, for example, about like 3 camels, here as well, but otherwise 3 chariot archers, about like 10 of them here. At 7 exactly right now with 2 more scouting to the top, but still the numbers are significantly better for Swiss, and you can see how he's running away by about 300 points on the economy already, and dueling quite decently right now in the battles, and of course overall in the game. Okay, so right now the siege tower is of course gonna be making it a bit easier. Oh, is he blocking the camel here? Luckily not. That was a bit looking like that he might have been, but well, luckily he isn't. Luckily he isn't, and therefore, with right about now, even villager, that's probably a bit of a mistake, or maybe he was going after the siege tower. That'd be a bit of a possibility for him. Might have been, but actually not. Don't think that vanilla villages have bonus against siege. I think that came with titans, so I don't think they actually have that kind of extra bonus for them, so not entirely certain. Not entirely certain at all. But of course this raiding, so far it seems to me that Swissboy is not entirely all that aware of it. I don't think he will be just not caring. You can see a third, fourth village already destroyed. So that's actually quite a bit of a problem for him altogether. Quite a bit of a problem altogether. So to the top we are looking at just basically save gold still for him. 5,200. So not really any kind of problem with that. Whereas, well, inside the base here, are we gonna be looking at something out of the ordinary? So economic upgrades, hand axe and pickaxe already available for Blood, whereas all the way to the top for Swissboy. There's gonna be Ancestors versus Ancestors, and who is gonna be having a few more priests? Well, the priests are right now coming back from Swissboy as he was going for a bit of a push in there and offensive. You can see right now the villagers still, even though I don't think they have the bonus, they'll be able to deal with the siege tower quite fine, as they still do have quite nice melee damage. As in the middle, apparently, all the priests from blue are gonna be significantly paying off, as the priests from blood are not entirely fighting against the ancestors as they should have been. And well, that is not a great news for him at all. And that's of course why he's gonna be pushed back, and what is probably gonna be resulting into quite a significant counter push available for Swiss. And you can see even the score lead still coming up, and quite a bit. Okay, let's have a look yet again into the advances. You can see so far not even the food being close by. The gold is actually kinda solid for Swiss, but it's exactly not all that he needs. He needs a whole lot more food, especially. So far he cannot exactly advance into that, and is there some kind of granulations already here? Maybe it could be useful, but well, nonetheless, you can see that Swissboy is going to be pushing through the bottom, and it's gonna be all about trying to get out the mid-gold, because it's already gonna be, of course, redeem him of the gold, and the others, they are right now kinda halfway scouted probably by Swissboy. And the town center being a bit more further away and in kind of a bit of an unfortunate position as far as covering the golds. This is gonna be about this position, and well, Swissboy definitely needs to be put in a whole lot more chariots here into the fight, but he was fighting against the camels that are, or rather were, trying to take down the Migdol there a bit earlier. Maybe he could be trying to switch into a few barracks, trying to help himself with at least a few spearmen, because right now the chariot archers are not exactly working out all that gloriously so far against all the cavalry. You can see the priests dying, but at the same time the priests are not needed anymore. So he's gonna be potentially freeing space for some better units. But well, the camels are right now already gone. With a few more villages, is he gonna be dropping a Migdol into the middle or a few towers? Maybe he could be just dropping a few towers here. That would be probably strong enough. For as he's though going on the gold mine on the left side, he's not having economical upgrades yet. So while he does have the secondary TC, which should be giving him more of an edge in the economy than upgrades onto the economy for blood, still, maybe he could be wanting to go there as soon as possible. But so far it seems to be working alright for pretty much both. But the difference in the score is getting absolutely massive. And while we are just basically exactly seeing what's going on the map, and that is Swissboy right now having a slight edge, that is producing a bit more of an edge indeed. Overall, it is going to be resulting into a GG already called, and therefore a first one coming for Swissboy in kind of like solid manner. But definitely Blood has put up quite a solid problem. And yes, yep, these are the original maps. And right now all the players that are complaining about the balance patch maps on Titans need to be appreciating exactly how the original map spawned. For example, with only one gold mine on, and even like partly his only for the opponent. So yeah, you need to be definitely careful about how you play in it, and also potentially about the battles in the match. Yeah, the hunt definitely, but unfortunately I'm fairly certain he didn't scout it. So that's why basically the game went as it went. But let's go into the post game. And it's gonna be out right now telling us quite plenty of things. With Swissboy, obviously with the secondary TC proving to be correct decision. Look at the difference here, 39 and 67. Yeah, that could be then ending in only one thing for him. Only one thing indeed. Okay, so there we are. We're gonna be right now having the same military count, but unit skill are gonna be quite a bit different. Because Swissboy was just having the count a bit earlier in the game, and therefore it allowed him to be controlling a bit better, and a few more economical upgrades just cannot exactly overcome the secondary TC in there. You can see, of course, the secondary TC yet again paying off, and the military, quite a huge difference in there. And the ancestors also fairly quickly died for blood, because his boy was better positioned with his priest and better microing. GG.